Hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel for today's video. I wanted to talk to you about the narcissist. Do they reap what they sow? Do they get their what the world calls karma? I wanted to look at it another way and express to you some of my thoughts. Let's jump in. So when you meet the narcissist, you think they're your newfound queen. You let them come in and love bomb you. You may have had 2 or 3 of these relationships in the past. You may have been through them in years past and you had some recovery time, but then you had went through some sort of bereavement, something that lowered your vibration level down to maybe a narcissist vibration level because you were so depressed going through a death and a divorce. But this is when you're dealing with hurt and the narcissist comes into your life. They seduce you, you get into a relationship with them and they build you up. They come in as the victim, and as you pump them full of fuel, they build you up and pamper you. They tell you how great you are and they're infatuated, and then you reciprocate the same thing back. And you have a really good first few weeks. Although your intuition's pinging you, the love bomb is covering it up because you're hearing such great things. And then at some point, they take you through a devalue phase. They get jealous of you because they're not you. They can't be you, but they love your traits. They love your qualities and your passions. So they project all their negative energy from things they've been doing behind the scenes. They project them onto you. They get you to accept them as you react, and as you don't understand energy and your energy and what's theirs, you start flipping energy with them and you start flipping identity with them. And this is the whole game. So they discard you and they go out and use your energy and take your identity with them. Meanwhile, they leave their nasty, sinful identity of lies, betrayal, cheating, and theft behind with you. And they use your identity to seduce other people while they start flexing in the background, campaigning, smearing, and running smear campaigns upon your character. And it causes you to get in such a defunct mode. You start going through several cycles with these individuals and getting hoovered over and over again because you start believing these lies, these bold-faced lies that they tell you, and reel you back in through witchcraft and seduction, through charm, and all of these things. Start realizing they have demonic attachment and they don't feel love, so it's very easy for them to lie, cheat, steal. But at some point you go inside and you start to find out about narcissism, and you go into what they call the dark night of the soul, where you just leave everybody alone and you hibernate and you just heal. You learn your complete and authentic true self. You were authentic before, but you were also groomed for narcissist abuse because you grew up in the same family. But you tried to love the narcissist hierarchy to death, and they groomed you to take care of them. And they were in the same type of family. They had the same type childhood wound. And this is where likes attract, because opposites don't attract. But where you met in the middle with them was you had the same childhood injury, except you tried to love people to death and they tried to hate them. They became and emulated the abuser. They resonated with the abuser and they took on that craft. And they have no empathy. They have no love. So they have to fake all of the fruits of the spirit. So they have to steal identity after identity and use other people's energy to get forms of supply, which is fuel to move on and to seduce people, to take advantage of people. And when you emerge after the dark night of the soul, you have put your ego to death. You don't react anymore because things like that don't bother you anymore. And when the narcissist comes to Hoover, you are resistant. That you know who they are now. Regardless of what lies they tell you or what they're doing or looking like, it doesn't matter because you know. You know what's going on, and they will get theirs. So do they ever get their karma? Yeah, they get their karma. They usually get put under control by a greater narcissist, as they are a lesser narcissist or a mid-range narcissist. They'll find a greater narcissist that will trauma bond them and put them in financial difficulties and put them under their control. And these narcissists have to keep coming back to each other because they never did establish power and control over the other. And they have to have power and control. So they continually go back like they're GPSed. They end up getting trauma bonded to these individuals and having all these other toxic relationships that in turn, because of the things they have done to you. And they start to have collapses. But when they regenerate from collapses, they go back and do it again and again. They really don't learn. Their evil doesn't change, they're fixed. They don't get better, they get better in their craft on how to seduce people. But what's interesting is you find out later how ratchet they are, that you end up getting the tea on them. And let me tell you, they are not your soulmate. They are your fake, imposterous soulmate. And you will find they told you they were maybe rich, they were dead, broken, poor, and heavy financial difficulties right now. You'll find out things like they are married, you didn't know anything about it. You'll find that they had forms of supply all across the city, 4 or 5 at a time. They will have been getting drunk and having wild sex and all kind of stuff with people at wild parties. That they have addictions, sex addictions, drug addictions that you're unaware of, but you'll find out later. They are nasty, they're ratchet, they are imposterous, and they never had anything to give. They didn't learn a thing. And they need your validation to feel good about what they're doing out there. And if they don't have your validation, they don't know what to do. Because they were siphoning your validation amongst all of your fuel and using it as their foundation to keep them centered while they do all these bad things, and knowing they had you in the background, but you're not there anymore. You're not there to validate them. You're not there to give them that fresh fuel and to keep them centered anymore, because you learn that you have to center yourself and you want equal reciprocity. And now they're dealing with a marriage that they've been cheating left and right on some individual. They were with a narcissist that's married and cheating on their counterpart. And they have your ex-narcissist trauma bonded to them. And your ex-narcissist is broke financially and stuck with these individuals because they need financial support. They don't have the money and the funds that they tried to tell you they had. They don't have any clout. All they're known for is all the sleeping and promiscuity they've been doing. They have all these Tinder accounts. They are falling apart in the background is what you'll learn. That they're collapsing and it's over. And really what may be their karma or their negative reaping is that everybody finds out who they are, that they're a piece of trash. And I wouldn't normally call somebody a piece of trash, but because they choose to be and have chosen a pathway of hell and destruction that they place on everybody, eventually it gets placed on them. And the best thing you could do is forgive the narcissist and let it go and move on in healthy ways. When you go through dark night of the soul, when you're all alone and you reemerge this new individual, somebody who has gone inside and did some inner work and healing, as painful as it was, you reemerge and you will eventually find your counterpart. And sometimes your counterpart could have been somebody that you'd known for years before and had a reintroduction to. And you see them from a whole different light because you were unhealed You saw their good qualities, but you see so much more in them, and respect and love so much more about them when you're healed. And you're able to give your true self to this individual instead of just pieces of you. And you'll see that narcissist running around and collapsing all over the place. In the future, they'll probably be broke, and they'll be trying to siphon off people that have the same identity as them, and nobody will believe it, because everybody will know that they're a pathological liar and cheater, and that they have addictions, and that they're thirsty for validation, so thirsty that they will give up themselves. They'll have intercourse with anybody as long as somebody gives them good validation. And they will never get you back again. That you were their true blessing, and they turned it down. And that was your blessing, that they turned it down. And what you took from this was healing. And when you reemerge, you're stronger. Your boundaries are looking good, y'all. And you will never have to deal with this again on this level. Because God will protect you, and he will lead you through the fire and up to glory. Thank you for watching.